here. Going to our city council members, Councilmember Deputy Speaker Ayala.
Stephanie Guerra, representing Deputy Speaker Diana Ayala. Good morning.
Good morning. Councilmember Dinowitz.
Emma Burke, representing Councilman Dinowitz. Good morning.
Good morning. Councilmember Riley.
Any choices representing Councilmember Riley?
Councilmember Marmorato. Councilmember Sanchez.
Present.
Councilmember Feliz.
Santiago Ana, representing Councilman Police.
Councilmember Stevens.
Harry Goodrow, Chief of Staff, Councilmember Stevens.
Councilmember Salamanca. And Councilmember Farias.
Rebecca Nieves, Chief of Staff for Councilmember Ferris.
Good. Okay. Borough President is on her way up. We do have Madison Hernandez here from New York City Economic Development Corporation. You will be making the presentation. Why don't you just come up and then just wait here until the Borough President shows up, and we'll have her open, and then we'll ask the council member to make some remarks before we start. Yeah, everything's here, so we're good. Oh, here's the
The clicker.
the clicker. Yes.
I'm sorry, repeat again. You want me to start?
No, just wait for the council member. I just want everybody to be ready to. So just as an aside, this is the only item on the agenda this morning, so we hope to complete that within the hour. Right after this meeting, the Borough President is having her swearing-in ceremony in the Rotunda. It's the official swearing-in that we need to have prior to December 31st. There will be a larger inauguration in early next year, probably around sometime in February. But after this meeting, if you are able to, you are more than welcome to come down to the Rotunda and witness the swearing-in ceremony. Just a couple minutes. Since she's here, we won't be able to miss it because she'll be with us, right? So.
Amazing. I almost feel like I have to do like a stand-up special. Right. Hit the card.
I'm going to ask her to say something only because she may want to leave, but we'll make the presentation and then you can comment on it if that's okay with you, whichever way.
Yeah. One of the things we say is this is small.
Yep, so we open the meeting.
Happy Monday.
I already,
Okay.
I opened the meeting, we did roll call, and we're just now going to go into Madison if you want to say hello and welcome. You can go? Okay, so Madison, we are ready for the presentation, and if you just want to introduce your folks.
Okay,
with you as well.
yeah. Hi, folks. My name is Madison Hernandez. I'm with the New York City Economic Development Corporation, specifically with the Government and Community Relations team. I cover everything above 96th Street in all of the Bronx, so it's nice to see some familiar faces and folks who I haven't met before. And I'm also joined by some EDC members in the back and our 8th Regiment team who will help answer some questions if we have any at the end. But as Tom mentioned at the top, we're very excited to kind of get through this last step of many steps, but of this phase of work when it comes to the Kingsbridge Armory. There's been an incredible amount of work, and so thank you all for being here today, especially on a very, very cold Monday. And I'll just go through it really quickly and then answer any questions. So folks who aren't familiar with the Kingsbridge Armory project, it's on 29 West Kingsbridge Road in the Kingsbridge Heights neighborhood. The existing uses on the site are compiled of two main uses. One is the fact that it's been vacant since 1996, so 30 years of vacancy, but primarily beforehand was an armory used for military purposes. And then there's the second lot, as you can kind of see in this outline in blue, where the National Guard is currently sitting. And so, as the council member and the borough president are well familiar with, this has been years in the making, and there was an extensive community engagement process that was launched in October of 2022 in close coordination with the community board, the council member and the borough president, and many members of labor, clergy, our Northwest Bronx friends, schools, union, to kind of gather a blueprint for what we wanted to see at the Armory. So extensive tours and meetings with industry, with residents, with schools, with students, just to kind of gather, what do you want to see at the Armory? How can we make this a place that is not only in the Bronx, but for the people of the Bronx as well? And so throughout this Together for Kingsbridge process, we came with the Together for Kingsbridge plan, which kind of served as the blueprint when we released the RFP in 2023 and selected 8th Regiment partners in December of 24. And in addition to extensive community engagement and extensive RFP process, there also has been significant public support for this project, over $200 million in city, state, and federal grants for this project. And many thanks to the council member and to the borough president for also giving city capital to this project. This truly wouldn't have been done without the support of our elected officials. And then lastly, if you can see on the bottom here, the economic impact that we're anticipating for this project will generate 3,600 construction jobs and 500 permanent jobs across both phases. And I'll kind of get into what both phases of the project means in a moment. And we're estimating that this project alone will generate over $1.1 billion in economic revenue. And so the project overview, as I mentioned, this is kind of broken out into 2 phases of the project. The first being the Armory itself, and so a readaptive reuse of the Armory. And then the second phase is affordable housing construction. So the Armory itself, which is a landmark. We are not touching the outside, obviously making it safe and usable, but preserving the structure as it exists, and then kind of redapting the inside of the Armory. So as you can kind of see here, and for folks in the back who can't see, looking to make the top level of the Armory into a 17,000 live event venue space. And then on the bottom, having dedicated community space, having light manufacturing, music and recording, some parking. And so we have over 660,000 gross square footage of space that's going to be utilized at the Armory. And so for the light manufacturing specifically, which you'll see in this little section here, up to 100,000 square feet of space. And so for the affordable housing, which is, as you can see here, this is where the Armory is, and then there will be new construction where the National Guard was placed, and up to 500 of permanently affordable units. And so HPD's ELA program, if folks are familiar. And then on the bottom, there's going to be 20,000 ground square feet of ground floor retail space. And not only will the inside of the Armory have community uses and that a live event venue space, also on the outside, we heard a lot throughout the visioning process how important our street vendors are and having public free space for folks to enjoy, that you don't have to spend money in order to enjoy the Armory. And so we'll have about 1.5 acres of publicly accessible plaza and open space around the Armory as well. And then in addition, parking is always the question. We'll have about 328 parking spaces. And so, as I mentioned, this has been an extensive engagement process, and this year the team and the 8th Regiment team was involved with not only environmental review, but the ULERP process as well. And so on September 5th, the final economic impact statement was issued, and we received ULERP approval on October 29th, 2025, which was an exciting race. And we got a beautiful points of agreement and community benefits agreement signed on that day as well. And so the ULERP approval, we received approval for the following actions that I'm just going to read aloud. So first being the disposition of city-owned property. Second being a zoning map amendment to rezone the development site from a C44 to an M14A/R72 zoning district, zoning text amendment to ZR 123-90 to establish an MX district, zoning text amendment to the ZR section to increase permanent indoor arena capacity, a special permit pursuant to Section 74-182B to allow for an indoor arena and modify signage regulations, and then lastly, a special permit to allow a public parking garage with a maximum capacity of 248 spaces. And this is a beautiful illustrative rendering of when there's not a concert venue happening. This will be a space where there can be either high school graduations for students of the Bronx, arenas, like you'll see like a basketball court, and for folks just to enjoy this space without having to utilize money as well. And so the whole reason why we're here today is for the 384B4 process. And so this is a section under the New York City Charter that allows the mayor to lease city-owned property to a local development corporation with borough board approval, which is why we're here. So the city will lease the property to the New York City Land Development Corporation for up to 99 years. Here are the business terms that I'll read aloud in a moment, which will be concurrently assigned to our developer, 8th Regiment Partners. And so the business terms it's up to a 99-year lease. The Armory Phase 1 base rent of $1 for the first 19 years with appraisal base resets in year 20 and every 20 years thereafter. For Phase 2 of the project, so where the National Guard currently sits and where the affordable housing will be in the future, the initial base rent will be $1 for so long as applicable affordability requirements are maintained. And then lastly, participation rent will be determined at closing, which we anticipate to do by the end of next year. Is expected to be waived for any phase with affordable housing, and the leasee will be required to pay pilot. And so that brings us to the end of our presentation. I'm happy to take any questions you may have, any financial questions, or just questions about the programming in general.
Building the landmark?
Yes. Yes, and we received landmarks approval over the summer.
Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you, Madison. Are there any questions for Madison and EDC? Okay. If
You might have shared this before. With regards to the spaces that would be made available for folks to open up small businesses, can you explain a little bit more on where we are on that process right now, with the selection of perhaps people who can be tenants, or if there is an application out there? Thank you.
No, that's a great question. And luckily, we're very early on in the process, and the 8th Regiment team has been working with different tenants to get letters of interest to see, who would be interested in being a part of the Armory. But specifically, it's very early on to get signed leases, especially since we haven't closed on the building as of yet. We haven't got this borough board approval, so we're in the very preliminary stages. But through the community benefits agreement, which our 8th Regiment team can speak more to, there are commitments to work with community and who will be those tenants to ensure that the Armory is made up of community-based businesses as well.
If the 8th Regiment folks could share any information on the price per square foot.
Katrina, not to put you on spot back there, but
In average,
can you
if
just
had
take the
made
microphone, please?
Any studies on that? I just wanted to have an idea of any pricing for the square footage, if you have determined anything, not a specific price, but I bet you've done your research.
For cost or for rent?
Cost.
For cost, yeah.
For rental cost.
Rental cost, okay, that's helpful. So there's small business space set aside in the phase 2 for affordable housing, ground floor retail. For that, I think in the CBA we committed to a below market rent. I'll have to recall and dig up if there was a specific number, but it was a commitment to a certain percentage below market. And we've been working with Northwest Bronx on sort of giving them a first offer of managing that space and working with the community to identify tenants. And I believe that's part of the EDC program as well for the corridor and looking at small businesses that may be displaced. In the Armory building itself, we've been sort of speaking with tenants so far in the community organizations, looking at space in the head house, but obviously the Northwest Bronx is one of the key partners there as well. And we'll have a below market rent for that space too.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for EDC? If not, I'm going to ask Councilmember Sanchez. Here you are. Can you just
A lot, no.
Come a long way.
Come a long way. I did prepare remarks, but I won't read them too faithfully because they're a little long. But I just want to start with a note of gratitude. This was a labor of love, a labor of passion, and a literal labor. I gave birth to 2 kids during this process. But BP, we wouldn't have done this without you, without your support, and so many of our elected officials who represent the West Bronx, our community boards, 5, 7, and 8 are the ones that are closest to the Armory. Everybody sort of gave their political will and spoke with one voice that we wanted to see this done. And so I thank all of you. And just to name our Congressman Adriano Espaillat, Senator Jackson, Senator Rivera, who I always say gave us the actual benefit of having hindsight, right? Hindsight is 2020, but we had that because there were 2 failed redevelopment attempts in the past. Of course, Assemblymember Alvarez as well. And I just want to give a flavor because y'all are the ones who know. You know what this means to gather this range of community leaders, this range of organizations. And so I just wanted to read out for everyone who all contributed, right? Aside from the 4,000 community members that went out to town halls, aside from, we had, it was, coming out of COVID in the beginning, so we had a lot of Zoom town halls. We also had meetings in lobbies throughout the district because it's the Bronx, right? Like, how do you reach people? We had a block party in front of the Armory one time, you remember that one? We had a DJ and resources and all of that. And as you might know, in front of the Armory is the end of education mile. So you have Bronx High School of Science and the Walton campus and PS 340 and PS 86, right? You have so many schools. And so all of those parents, all of those families, all of those kids passed by and were able to understand that there was something going on in the neighborhood and they had a say. And we actually, I remember Fernando, Madison's predecessor, actually grabbing folks and be like, do you want to go inside? Do you want to go inside? So kids actually got to go in there. So you had the Northwest Bronx Community and Clergy Coalition, of course, who co-chaired the process. Community Boards 5, 7, and 8, part of the solution, the Street Vendor Project, Mashalou Montefiore Community Center, Mothers on the Move, University Neighborhood Housing Program, Gambian Youth Organization, Riverdale Senior Services, the Point CDC, Kingsbridge Road Merchant Association, Mekong, the Bronx Economic Development Corporation, BJT, the Burnside Jerome Tremont Merchant Association, Dominicanos USA, Kingsbridge Heights Community Center, Lehman, Monroe, Bronx Community College, Morris Heights Health Center, Gardner Foundation, Theory 9, Good Shepherd Services, BRAG, Bronx Rises Against Gun Violence, WEDCO, Angeli Yambo Foundation, Bronx Independent Cinema, West Bronx Housing, every single TA from the area, so it's Ford Independence, Bailey Houses, and then a bunch of rehabs that we have in the area on University in Harrison. We had parent leaders from Community School District 10. We had labor. The Central Labor Council was on the committee. Local 79, the painters. Then we had religious institutions: Our Lady of Angels, Masjid Omar, Fordham Manor Church, Yankasa Masjid, Christ Riverdale Church, the Abrar Masjid. It was just a very broad coalition, right? And more that really got us there because the with such a big project that can fail at every single opportunity and has in the past, it's very important to have the calm before the storm before the calm, right? You have the storm of everybody chiming in, everybody putting in their 25 cents to $1 inflation, to make sure that we knew what the community wanted to see. And so, I say that for me, this vote, and I ask you, of course, for your support. This is deeply personal. I grew up next to the Armory. My brother did junior ROTC back in 96, 97 when it was still open. And I would go with my mom to pick him up. Before the novelas, you had to rush, right? Like, you had to be there by 6:45 because the telenovela started at 7 and she did not want to miss Thalia. It was like a big deal. But this building really has always reflected the immense potential of our community and also the pain of decades of disinvestment, right? We have 30 years of vacancy. We have 2 failed attempts. And the last 4 years, my kid is 3, like I said. I got pregnant, and then he was born. I was like on the hospital bed calling the BP and calling everybody, being like, do you want to join this working group? Do you want to join? And they're like, didn't you just give birth? Why are you on the phone? I'm like, don't worry about it. Do you want to join? And we really got this done. Madison touched on it, but I want to highlight the incredible amount of public investment that we have here and the economic impact. So $375 million altogether. Which you get to that math by 215 of city, state, and federal capital dollars. a historic $130 million community benefits agreement. There was an article over the weekend in Next City that highlights this deal as one of the deepest and ones that go furthest for community in the nation. So we're setting a precedent. And the vote started late because we have an additional $30 million. The vote in the city council started late because we were negotiating an additional final $30 million in city investments for the surrounding neighborhoods. So very proud, hundreds of after-school seats, as well as funding for the small business corridor. Somebody asked me, from Althea Stevens' office, asked me if there was involvement of BXEDC in this deal. They will administer that small business fund. We also got park renovations. We have community safety initiatives, and as I mentioned, an unprecedented after-school expansion. And I just want to close with the grounding, right? I think I look around the table, and this is the Bronx, right? Like this is who we are. Everybody around this table represents the Bronx. And for me, I will never forget that the first day that we launched this process, the first public event, was on September 17th. September 17th of 2022. And you might not remember this date, but I do, because on September 15th, we lost Nicolas Feliz Dominici. He was a 1-year-old who died in his daycare, 2 blocks away from the Armory. And, you know, it's just such a symbol of the disinvestment that we have, the fact that we struggle so much with the illegal drugs, with violence in our neighborhood. And of course, you know, he sort of punctuates the beginning of this process for me personally. And then just 2 days before the vote in the city council for the Armory, we lose Pamela Almonte, who was killed across the street from the Armory, right? And so when I ask you all to please support this, and thank you for your role in the process, I'm asking for the partnership for the reason that we're all here. We want a better Bronx. We want the Bronx to be, you know, we want the Bronx to honor the resilience that we know our people have. And that's what this is about. $375 million for our neighborhood, for our Bronx, and $3 billion. It was $1 billion in your slide, but $3 billion is on the press release for EDC. $3 billion in economic impact for the Bronx. So, thank you so much for. I'm sorry, I'm like, I'm not going to say it all because it went long, but I'm just so incredibly thankful that we are here, that we did this together, and I hope you will all vote to affirm this historic deal.
Wow. That was incredible. Thank you, Councilmember Pierina Sanchez, for your passion, your purpose, your leadership, your commitment. Despite so many challenges along this journey since 2022, look at where we are today. It's emotional because I think about all of the people in the Kingsbridge community and the Northwest Bronx that started this campaign years ago, decades, if even, that were not successful, that gave up on a process because they didn't see the possibilities of what the Kingsbridge Armory could do for our borough. And so it's really a surreal moment to see this full circle moment where we are now coming together in this space where Borough Board and all of the members of the delegation in the City Council representing the Bronx can take a real vote on this along with our leadership at our community boards. I'm really grateful and I'm very proud of this moment. Thank you again, Councilmember, to you and your team, because you did not do this by yourself. I want to thank the entire Team Sanchez for this journey and being a part of it with the Northwest Bronx Community and Clergy Coalition, the entire Together for Kingsbridge Coalition, the 4,000 ideas, the 9 months of work was truly a labor of love. Thank you, Madison, and the EDC team. Of course, I want to acknowledge Andrew Kimball and the team at EDC for their partnership, not only being the landlord of this property, but also being a real partner to all things Kingsbridge. Thank you to the 8th Regiment Partners team who are here. Thank you for your willingness to work with us and listen to countless hours of what the Bronx deserves. This is a full circle moment. Nearly $400 million of investment, $3 billion investment. You understand the magnitude of what this Armory will do. Not just for community boards 5, 7, and 8, but for the broader Bronx, right? And that is why this project is so important. That is why it's on the agenda today for your vote. But it's also the last meeting of Borough Board for the year. And I wanted to make the time to come this morning to really acknowledge all of your work, to say thank you from Community Board 1 all the way to Community Board 12. Thank you for believing in the work that we do every day. Being a partner with all of you here at Borough Hall is truly the greatest honor of my life. And I say that because this is also the ending of my first full year, 4-year term. And I cannot believe that 4 years has gone by as quickly as it has. But I am looking forward equally as much to serving with all of you in the next 4 years. And so I want to thank all of you. Of course, I want to thank all the members of the Bronx City Council delegation. As a former member, once a council member, always a council member, I appreciate and I know the work that all of you do. And so I want to say thank you to our New York City Council Deputy Speaker Diana Ayala, to Council Member Eric Dinowitz, to Council Member Kevin Riley, to Council Member Christy Marmorato, to Council Member Pierina Sanchez, to Council Member Oswald Feliz, to Council Member Althea Stevens, to Council Member Rafael Salamanca Jr., and to our New York City Council Majority Leader Amanda Farias. Thank you. Thank you to you and your teams for the amazing work. And in the new year, you know that we will welcome 3 new members of this delegation, and that will be Councilmember-elect Elsie Encarnacion, as well as Councilmember-elect Justin Sanchez, and Councilmember-elect Shirley Addaball. Wow, got all of that in one breath. But I'm really excited, and again, I want to say thank you. And of course, as your borough president, you know I am only as good as the team assembled here, and so I do want to acknowledge the phenomenal team at Borough Hall that does this work every single day, make sure Borough Board happens, and we get the work done on all of our agenda items. We make sure we have quorum. Thank you. But I do want to acknowledge our Deputy Chief of Staff, Tom Lucania, our Borough Operations Director, Persephone Tan, our Community Boards Director, Kira Gannon, back from maternity leave, congratulations, and Kenny Agosto, Alexis Ruiz in our Community Board Unit, and our newest member who's inside, Bianca Stevenson. Thank you so much, Bianca and Kira and Alexis and Kenny, Persephone, and Tom. I could not do this work without any of my amazing team, and so I just wanted to say thank you. And now, before we begin the vote, on a final note, happy holidays to you and your families. It is my hope that you find time, take time off. I have to do that myself, to spend with your family and your friends. And if anyone wants to join us later on this morning, I'm going to take my ceremonial oath of office downstairs in the rotunda. A little nervous. This is my first election that I am taking my oath of office without my mom. So it's a lot, but I'm still excited because I know my mom is here in spirit. And so it is an incredible honor to be a borough president. So I want to say thank you all and happy holidays to each and every one of you. Thank you. Ready? You do the vote. Sure, of course. Can't forget the staff.
See, when you don't read faithfully from your list. But I also just want to take a moment to thank my team, our chief of staff who's not here, Maria Villalobos, Ben Ratner, who is our deputy chief for land use. I always say that he was a godsend because he's an urban planner who came to our team right as this started heating up, and I'm just very thankful for the way that you've worked on this. To Kim, to Brenda, to Stephanie, and to all of the previous staff as well, Sam Cardenas, Kadeem Robinson, and everyone. And I also, BP, to your point about the people who don't get the acknowledgement, the people who you might not see their names in the press. There were some key people. You're seeing Madison today, but to Madison, to her predecessor Fernando, to Deputy Mayor Adolfo Carrion, who was a city council member in District 14 himself. He really put his political weight on this project as well. And there's this person that you might not know of on his team named Arvind, who works so hard, and he's just so incredible and brilliant. And I wanna also highlight, oh my gosh, from EDC, works with you. Yes, thank you. Mikkel Adgate has, it was like 11 p.m. the night before, and they're like, council member, you realize that, we can't kill this project. And I'm like, yeah, I know. So you go and talk to Arvind and make sure that the deputy mayor and the first deputy they're incredible. So I just wanted to take a moment to highlight those people and thank you for all your work.
Okay, thank you. So now we'll move to the vote. And just as a reminder, those eligible to vote on this are the Chair of Community Board 7, as well as the members of the City Council. I do first need a resolution needs a motion. Councilmember, do you want to make the motion to accept the resolution?
I make a motion that we accept this resolution.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Okay, now on the vote, Chair of Community Board number 7, Lori Acosta.
Yes, Luis Acosta approves.
Okay.
So the C7, of course.
Thank you. Moving on to the members of the City Council, I'll start with Councilmember Sanchez.
Aye.
Councilmember Ayala.
Councilmember Ayala votes yes, congratulations.
Councilmember Dinowitz.
Councilmember Dinowitz votes aye. Congratulations.
Councilmember Riley.
Councilmember Riley favors him, yes.
Councilmember Feliz.
Councilmember Feliz votes aye. Congratulations.
Councilmember Stevens.
Councilmember Stevens proudly approves.
And Councilmember Farias.
Councilmember Farias votes aye.
And Borough President Gibson.
I vote aye.
Okay. The resolution is approved unanimously. Thank you all very much. You want to say anything in
One
closing?
Bronx, folks. Today is a very exciting day. There is a hearing later on this afternoon at 1 p.m., and I won't give you all the details, but there will be more announcements coming out, hopefully. But thank you all, and understand that your vote of support is a vote for the future of the Bronx. For every child, for every family member, for every veteran, every person with a disability, every marginalized community that has always felt behind, we lift them up today. So I thank you so much on behalf of the council member and my staff. We are very thankful for your support and your partnership, and we look forward to seeing this project to fruition. It's coming. Thank you, everyone.
Just to close, the next meeting of the Borough Board will be on Monday, January the 12th, 2026. On behalf of all of us, once again, happy holidays, happy New Year to all of you. Spend some time with your families and enjoy the new year. Thank you all very much. This meeting is adjourned.
Where's the gavel?
They don't give me a gavel.
Okay, they have to give you a gavel for Borough Board.
We'll wait for the deputy.